Get ready, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for kickoffs and kick-ons.
Would you prefer no socks or odd socks? I'm talking like a long one and then a short one.
I'd go a long one and a short one.
Yeah, same.
No, I can't wear odd socks. I just bin them.
How does that feel?
Not bin them, but I just don't wear socks. So I just don't. To me, it just looks like you're dishevelled. You're a bit ratty. I just don't like that. I need to be like.
I
need to
been
present
so
well.
military. You'd
Yeah.
say you're not,
Yeah.
but you are.
I mean, it's pardon the pun, but it's drilled into me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time I looked in a mirror.
Oh, don't. I don't think you should.
My wife had them removed from the house.
You've aged a lot. But you've aged well.
Yeah.
You look gorgeous.
Like a aged cheddar cheese, would you say?
Or a wine.
Let's say cheese. How are you?
Great.
Be quiet today.
See what I did there?
Yeah, I like it.
Rewiring.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
from
that's
last week.
interesting, yeah.
Starting to rub off for me, this bloke.
Yeah. Just
Because
starting
before I was just good. Now I'm great.
It's like we checked. Remember the press conferences? We couldn't say, I hope, or I think this weekend. It was like, I believe. We had to rechange our whole
Psyche.
terminology when you're doing press conferences. This weekend, I believe.
He also, if you go back to listen to any of the press conferences, he'd always refer to New Zealand as New Zealand, not the All Blacks. He's like, mate, I don't fucking work for their marketing team.
Oh, that's too good. He wasn't involved with the coach whisperer, was he?
Oh, yeah, that was big for a while. Yeah, it was.
with Robbo.
Was it Czech or was it?
Well, Czech and
Robbie.
Robbo are quite tight.
Yeah, because what was his name? Richard Star.
I mean, he was fighting around a little bit, but he didn't really have any role as such.
No, I think maybe Czech just dealt with him.
Yeah.
Because that was the whole you call them the other team. You don't
Don't acknowledge them.
Yeah, very
Oh,
interesting.
that's right. It was big around the Origin time.
Yeah, Kevy Walters got right
He
into
got
it.
real silly in that one, yeah.
Yeah, he did. Hello and welcome to the KOKO Show. Kickoffs and kick-ons, the best rugby pod in the fucking galaxy. That's what I'm saying when I'm doing.
Yep.
I like it.
Oh,
Exactly
positive
what you're
reinforcement
doing.
like you do.
Great.
Your stuff.
Awesome.
I like it.
That's what we are.
I thought you were
Lately,
saying something about space or theme. I was like,
No, I just figured there'd be other rugby podcasts outside of Earth. And if we were up
for
in
sure.
a contest with them, we'd be at the top. This show has been absolutely flying lately. It's been at its wonderful best with A-list guests, A-grade conversations, and all-round great ruggers. Look, rugby in Australia is absolutely flying. I think we can all agree with that, can't we, gents?
Yeah, most of rugby, in Australia.
This is why, Gits. There is an Aussie team that sits atop the superb rugby ladder. Which team is it, Gits?
Gee, I don't know.
I'll tell you. The Brumbies.
That's right. One of Canberra's finest.
Well, king of.
And congratulations to them. Will they last there till the end of the year, Gits?
I believe so.
Well, it's going to be tough.
It will be tough.
Two
yes,
rounds left. They don't play next week,
No.
so they'll miss
Yeah.
out on the opportunity to gain some points.
Yeah.
Chiefs are breathing down their necks with.
Yeah,
I
you've
think
got the Crusaders up there.
They've
as
got
well.
2 games left, so they've got an opportunity to score some points. So, and it'd be great if they finish top of the table because having those home semis and a potential
Especially
home
in
final
Canberra at the
is
moment.
everything.
She's starting to turn cold there.
yeah.
Yeah.
How is it?
It's cold, but it's lovely. We're a community down there. We're happy. Raiders are winning. Brumbies are winning.
Well, you know who else is winning down there? The Wallaroos.
They are.
Yes.
Yep.
Got it done against the American Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
We are the little podcast that could. And we're batting overs in terms of World Rugby. I'd have to say the Australian team's doing very, very well. My next little bit here is about the guest we've got.
Oh, yeah.
Is that happening, Drew?
I believe so.
Oh! There you
I
go.
was just texting then.
Fantastic. So I can now officially say I was a bit guarded then. Now
Yeah.
I can say it right. We on this show, we've had the biggest names in world rugby. Do them with me, gents. Johnny Wilkinson.
Johnny Wilkinson.
Dan Carter.
Dan Carter.
Darcy Breen.
Darcy
Breen.
Breen.
Big three. We have one to eclipse them all. Drew Mitchell. Who do we have?
Today, we have none other than Ilona Maher.
Wow.
Yeah, so-
Gee, your energy's improved.
Well, I was
you
a
were
bit
flat.
nervous then.
Yeah, you were flat. Like, we're not good enough.
No, you guys are great.
Yeah.
But Drew came to us early in the week and said, I think I've jagged Ilona. And we were like, wow. But then just now he said, just build into it.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's there's a bit of confusion around and clash with her training time. She's over in New Zealand at the moment. But because of the time difference, there may be a window. And she's just messaged me then saying that they haven't left the training facility, but they're making their way back to the hotel. It might be pushed back 15 minutes or so,
All good.
but yeah.
We will wait for Ilona. What would you like to ask her?
That'd be perfect for me. So Sydney traffic and everything, love it.
I reckon Ilona's thinking that when she's thinking.
I reckon Drew said that. Just delay it a little bit.
I'd like to delay it so much that you just end up crashing with me tonight.
Oh, there's a chance.
Why not? Like, what have you got to do tomorrow?
No, that's a good point.
What would you like to ask Ilona? Swoop, what's your first
I
question?
don't know. It'd have to be something to do with her following, right? What has she got? She's probably got the largest following out of any rugby player.
Well, she's got 4.9 million on Instagram, and I think the highest is maybe Sia Khaleesi around 2 mil, like highest men's player. And the next highest.
Yeah, it's 8 million on TikTok. Tommy. Now, Tommy, just so you know, you don't have a microphone. So when you call out across the room, people can't
And
hear.
also
so you want him
not
just to
allowed to
volume up a a little bit? You want him to volume up a
Yeah,
little
if
bit?
you don't mind, shout.
Can you just
can do it.
try that? You ask that again, Tommy, but with
Just
a bit more
shout, Tommy.
decibel?
It's almost 8 million between Instagram and TikTok.
Too loud.
Yeah, too loud.
Too much.
Dial
And
it
almost
down,
just
mate.
like, who cares? Shut up, Tommy. But when did that change? You know, what was the...
Well, the
shift
big
is
catalyst
obviously
was
the Olympics.
during the Olympics.
Yeah.
I mean, she had a big following prior to that, but I think,
But
I think
she-
it's just some of the content, talking about the athletes' village, like entering the villa, like Love Island kind of lingo. It was just, I know, it's for people that weren't necessarily rugby loving people. Obviously, the Olympics have a lot of eyeballs from other sports and whatever. I think she just really captured a lot of people with her content. And I mean, also Dancing with the Stars since the Olympics as well. She was a runner-up in the disco
but
ball.
she was still, she was big when I first got to San Diego. I think she had a big following more for TikTok and doing real quirky different things. Because Corb's a big fan. He was one of the first got me onto it.
Got quite a big podcast now as well.
Yeah, the sisters.
House of Mars, yeah, which is a good one. We'll ask her about all of that. I want to ask her about the Olympic Village.
Yep.
A lot of people talk about. We could ask you about the Commonwealth Games Village.
Oh, that's all right, mate. It's not about me.
Similar vibe?
I don't know.
Okay, well, we'll ask Ilona because, you want to know which athletes are flogs, basically.
Yeah.
All right.
Might also ask her about how the game on the weekend as well, maybe.
If we have to. Kidding, we'll get into that. Of course we will. That's going to be great. Hey, let's do this. KOKO Learnings. What did we learn? Was it rugby-based? Was it life-based? What did you do? Looking at you first. Gits. What happened on the weekend, mate?
What happened on the weekend? Kids sport. Kids getting older now, so they play 12:30 or 1:30, 12:30, 1:30. So it's right in the punting stage. So I'm saving a bit of money now. Not betting on as many horses.
You don't bet on the kids' sport?
Well, I try to get a market because the kids are underperforming at the moment.
right.
So I'd
Are they?
like to bet on the other team. That way you can't lose. At least when you get in the car and they've lost, you feel good because you got money in your pocket.
Yeah.
And if they win, but you've dropped a bit of dough. Oh well, they're
Are you
happy.
running that with just the other fathers sitting on the sideline?
Haven't yet done that, but hopefully this will be something.
Oh, that'd
Also, the old man had a knee replacement today,
Oh, Ronnie.
so he'll be watching this tomorrow with Mum. So hope Mum's got the nurse's outfit
Covered
on.
well.
She's
Have you got the
looking
endo
after
in there, Ronnie?
You
The
found a
old-
gap in the market, is what I was going to say.
Yep.
So this is what we're always trying to think. How do we make money? Kids sports punting on it. You start a whole punting thing.
Yeah.
Call it, I don't know, kids punting.
Yeah.
Back the local
Junior
team.
bets.
Junior bets. Love it.
something there.
What did you learn on the weekend,
Mate, I just had a really quiet, wholesome weekend. I caught up with Kurtley's wife and their kids, little KJ and Mila. They were over on this side of the country when KB was up in Fiji. So I had a bit of time at the park with them. Little Mila's birthday on Thursday. Happy birthday, first birthday. But otherwise, mate, I went for a run around Centennial in the rain. I went for a massage. I had an Epsom salt bath. I ironed 10 shirts to get ready for the week. Like,
Wow.
mate,
Wow, you really looked after
I'm
yourself.
just liking where I'm at. It's nice.
You're doing you really well.
Thank you.
Why have you not done you for so long?
I,
know what I
I
mean?
think it's been a long time not really knowing who me is.
Yeah, right. I've known you,
Yeah.
and this is you.
Yeah, this is me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So have you been doing you?
No, I haven't actually, because I got the old girl over. Flew her over from Perth.
So
I
you've
tell
been
you what,
doing
you
your
forget how handy and useful it is to have your old girl around.
Oh, yeah. Especially your old girl.
The house is spotless.
Yeah.
Everything's in order.
Yep.
Things are in their place. I
Her
mean,
place, your place.
my place. Well,
Like that.
50-50.
Mums
Yeah.
always find better places to put your staff, like more efficient places.
Yeah. Well, there were some places, there were some things I didn't agree with, so I just had to delegate.
Yeah.
Right. Kaz.
From the lounge.
Yep.
Guys.
Yeah. Well, she doesn't mind. She likes being a mother.
Yeah.
She doesn't get the opportunity much these days, given the fact that she's over there being a mother to the other second favourite son.
Yeah.
But no, it's good. It's good to have her around.
Beautiful.
What'd
So
you
you learn that it's nice to have your mum around.
It's nice to have your mum around.
You, Jimbo? I see you've got some bark off your knee.
Yes,
Yeah,
I fell
what
up the
happened there?
stairs. I was
Fell
telling
up
you
the
boys,
stairs.
Yeah, up the stairs. It's a thing. People are doing it. I was chasing the dog. It was going up into the bedroom, and
You know what the beauty about falling up the stairs is? You
Yeah.
don't actually fall too much further up. You
No,
just kind of just
it's
stop.
one or two.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you do
Did
it.
you trip on your blue slides or
I
something?
was wearing my blue slides, which I often get accused of them being oversized, but that's just how they make them.
Yeah.
No, that's not what I learned. What I learned was Stardust Circus. Do yourself a favour. You know the little one that goes around in the van?
Oh, yeah.
It's down in Manly at the moment.
Mhm.
We took the kids along. Unbelievable.
Really?
Yeah,
Honestly?
really good. Honestly,
Yeah.
really good. Stardust Circus. And this is a crazy thing, right? The people that are in the circus that are doing the loops and the ropes and everything, they're serving you before you go in. So I got a coffee and I thought, geez, the lady making the coffee's wearing a lot of makeup. Go in, she's on a bloody trapeze, the same woman.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then in the break, we'll have a little intermission. You go over and the ringmaster he's serving you popcorn.
How does it
Oh,
compete
mate, this
with
sounds like-
Cirque du Soleil?
Oh, on a par?
Is it?
Oh,
Mate,
do they have animals involved?
yeah, there was some dogs and a horse. And they go,
Any trampoline action? Because that's the one thing that Cirque du Soleil does very well.
Well,
Yeah.
they do all sorts. They do trampoline.
They do everything.
Water. They
if you said to me, Prof, Cirque du Soleil or Stardust Circus, I would go Stardust.
Yeah, because it's cheaper.
A lot cheaper. Take the kids, do yourself a favour. It was fantastic. Now, Rugby Round Up. As I said, Aussies sitting atop the table in the superb rugby. The Wallaroos doing very well. It's time for your takeaways. People have been flooding our DMs saying how wonderful your takeaways are.
They are.
They want more takeaways. Who would like to go first? Gits, I think
Yeah,
you
mine's
popped it
not
up in the chat
overly
first.
surprising. I think we're all thinking the same, but Ardie Savea. He's already wrapped up the Player of the Year with a few rounds to go. But his performance again on the weekend, like, I don't think it's just his performance, but the way he instills confidence in the other players as well. Like players
Yeah.
that necessarily hadn't been playing probably to their full potential and now reaching that. And they're going super well. I think that's their first win.
Ever against the
Auckland,
Blues,
against
yeah.
the Blues,
27-21.
Yeah.
They beat the Blues.
But yeah, he's just, and then afterwards, incredibly humble. Just, the old usual, teammates, like what we're about,
Yeah.
who we represent. Yeah, I just think, like, he's been unbelievable. Like, what a signing to go to Moana.
Yeah, we've spoken about it before, like in terms of like his decision to go there and the pressure and the expectation, but like he's honestly just thriving off it. I would go even further to like the impact that he's having on his teammates, but also on the wider community and the Pasifika people, and like obviously the one thing that Moana Pasifika does really well is galvanizes their community and embraces their culture. And I mean the crowd there on the weekend was amazing. And I don't know. I just think their connection to their fans is really genuine. And I think obviously with Ardie Savea being the captain, but also just like a bit of a leader in that sense as well. Like both on and off the field in a playing scenario, but also as a leader to the wider Moana Pasifika community as well. He's just having a huge impact. I think also I would say almost on par with what Sia Khaleesi does with the people of South Africa. It's kind
absolutely.
of getting to that level where, they're both phenomenal players, but just the way that they just bring people together and connect with a wider community. I think like Ardie's definitely in that sort of stratosphere now.
And their post game.
Oh yeah.
Like how good that song is after a game where they all get in, the way the camera works.
their sunnies and
and
And also
Even
the
sad.
kids as well. Like, there's lots
Yeah,
of
the
kids
kids,
involved.
yeah.
Like, again, really community based. Like,
Sad.
You're getting a lot
Tom
of things
Savage.
right. I love the piece after the game had finished and Ardie Savea was kind of like, connecting with the crowd.
Mm.
there's a real movement happening over there. It's got a lot of wahs kind of about it.
Yeah,
But there's a
yeah,
lot
it
of
does.
support.
Yeah.
And Ardie, like, I mean, he's just going from strength to strength. Like, his growth this year, not just physically or on field, but also in terms of the leadership.
Yeah.
It's kind of dangerous if you're a Wallaby supporter, right, that going to the All Blacks, because you'll transfer all that experience, all that confidence, and all that kind of growth into that team. And he'll go from where he is now to another level, which is...
Yeah, and announced Super Rugby Pacific Player of the Year as well. Unassailable lead, 2 weeks to go. So no one can catch him in terms of the points. So he's already been awarded that Player of the Year.
You know-
I mean, amazing.
You know what's interesting? Do you guys... It's almost like with all this kind of... all his development, it's kind of stemmed from him kind of stripping back a more structured approach to bringing a little bit more unpredictability about it. You know, like how he's kind of playing open,
With
playing down the
freedom
edge,
and,
freedom, expressing himself, chip
Yeah.
and chases, like little skills, offload, keep ball alive. Like, I mean, it feels like he's found his niche with this particular style and this team that he's with now.
Maybe
He's
because
got
the All Blacks is a bit more structured.
Reminds me of George Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a way, like he's kind of just developed
Yeah,
that
just
game
plays
where he's not just,
totally-
you know, you can play a physical game, but he also can play open and loose and play.
Well, they're sitting in sixth. They're primed for their first foray into the finals. Yeah, doing very well. And they overtook the Blues with that victory. So
Another
So,
takeaway. We
yes.
already touched upon it, but the Brums, top of the table. So Swoop at the start of the year said it'll be a Reds Waratahs grand final.
I
So
said
you're definitely done with your prediction? Definitely done. Because we've now learnt that the Waratahs, they can't make it. Is that right, Swoop?
I think there's still a chance.
Are they?
Still a couple of games left.
I don't know if they are, but
They're in
no,
eighth.
but remember we thought maybe he got it right because the women's final was Reds and Waratahs.
Yeah.
Mm.
yeah, and state of
It was
origin.
a
this year's
unisex
Reds
call.
and Waratahs as
Um,
well. Queensland.
But I did say Brums will be in the top three. Like,
No, you
which they,
didn't.
yeah, I did.
He did. He said Brums were third.
Oh, anyway.
Brums, well, I said
I
top
want to
three,
get your
right?
take on the Tars, though. Let's turn to the Tars because Dan McKellar's come out. Even Jake
Jake
Gordon
Gordon,
said
yeah.
something like it was the worst defeat of his career, which I actually don't think this game was that bad. Like the second half, they were, I thought, not too bad, you know? Like as far as your worst performance.
Let me give you the score. Crusaders 48, Waratahs 33 is what we're looking at. And those comments were, I had them here, but I've
Yeah,
lost
it's up
them.
here.
You go.
Yeah, well, I watched it with Drew over a couple of zeros, and I mean their set piece was very strong. They started the game strong in that area of the game, but I guess once they kind of got through some phase, they were kind of just going through the motions and waiting for things to happen. But I felt like the conditions played a huge influence in the result because they just couldn't handle the ball as well as they should have in terms of like there were a lot of errors, there was some ill discipline. And also early points to the Crusaders.
Yeah,
I think
points killed them.
Early points killed them, and they tried to play a little bit of catch up football. But you know what? To their credit, in the second half, those two tries kind of brought them back into the game. But the Crusaders already kind of were showing too much kind of strength and control. I felt like they managed the game pretty well, and they were on top of the game most of the game, and ran away with it in the end.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of shining lights in that Waratahs. Langy Gleeson's in some form. Like every time he carries the ball, like it's with intent. He gets his shoulders through. He gets them on front foot off the back of that. Like he's just got a really dynamic style of carrying the ball, and you know it almost probably stands out more because it's so different to perhaps a lot of the other ball carriers in that forward pack. Like just the way his late footwork gets his shoulders through, gets a weak arm, and then off the back of that quick ball, then they can play. But he's what probably he's definitely a shining light in that team in the performances they've been having. But yeah, they probably just.
Do you think
It's just, I mean, sorry, but like
Yeah.
Jake Gordon, like he just sort of says, like for the team that we have, we've got to stop talking shit and just actually go.
But that's what I was going to say. Do you think that potentially, like I joke, I like to shit can the Tars, but for Australian rugby, we need Waratahs and our best performing players performing well.
Yeah.
So I would like them to not be ahead of the Brums, but certainly be pushing in the finals. Do you think injuries can be an excuse this year? Because they have copped a few, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely like there's been a fair bit of chop and change through the midfield. Joseph and then also Henry O'Donnell and Lala Kaifaketi and at 10 as well. There's been a lot of change with Crichton and Jack Bowen and Ed Medall getting a go up in the front row, hookers and props. But I mean, every team's sort of going through it. But at the same time, like they've got pretty good depth in terms of their roster. Like they just should be playing, even if they're not getting the results, they should be playing better footy. Or the drop off shouldn't be as big as it is. And that's, it's been highlighted. Dan McKellar saying there are people who are too comfortable, they're happy to be here and wear the tracksuit. That needs to change.
Their discipline's been a real issue too.
Yeah.
And I don't know where that stems from, what they're doing in training for it to transfer onto the field, but they're averaging at least a yellow card a game. Like on the weekend, I think there was 1 or 2. The previous weekend, there was 2 or 3. I'm not too sure in terms of the exact count, but discipline's certainly helping. Max Jorgensen, I think the loss of Max Jorgensen has been a big one because not only is he he's a great young talent, but also he can finish. Like he'd average 1 or 2 tries a game. He's just got this ability to find the line. And there's a lot to be said for having someone in the back line, particularly the back three, that can just
I still think the
score
two
points.
boys that are playing on the edge have been finishing well, given
Lancaster and
their
Riley.
opportunities,
True.
Like Lancaster, the Bombers finish on the weekend.
Is very good.
Yeah.
Do you think that the turning point for the Tars was when Jorgensen came and sat on this couch?
No,
We-
because we uplift when they come
Okay.
on. Don't start that.
I'm just saying.
No.
Yeah, Prof, come on, mate.
Sorry, hey, shining light out of that game. We're talking SLs. James O'Connor.
Yep.
Has he cemented himself a little spot in that Waratahs Wallabies lineup?
I think he's definitely going to be announced.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, not necessarily off the back of that performance, but like I think he's shown that, he's a role player now, right? Like he suits that role of coming off the bench. There's another, like they just had a different 10 that was outside the 23 that's come in to start ahead of James because they just know that that's James's role. Coming off the bench, closing out the game with experience, put him in the right areas and coming up with the right plays. I think he's probably at that point in his position, in his career, that if he was to be involved in the Wallabies for the Lions, that would be also the role that he plays.
About Kyron, Tomoe Falau.
Oh, yeah.
The Moana Pasifika winger. He's young. He
That's what I think, like someone like Ardie Savea coming in and playing with such freedom, it'll unlocks everyone. Like you're seeing the best of all their
wouldn't be
players.
surprised if he ends up in a All Blacks jersey this year.
I don't
Now
know
I
if he
know
can.
he played for Tonga 2023 World Cup. Now what are the
Yeah, I don't
you're
know
probably the one to know
eligibility.
this in terms of
if it's 23 World Cup, it's
eligibility.
too soon now.
I think it's 3 years.
At least 3, yeah.
Well then
I think it might have even changed to 5 for eligibility, maybe.
But yeah, he's a
Because
phenomenal
Augustine
talent.
Pisho, I think, pushed that
unbelievable.
through.
I mean, and
he's
we've spoken
gate,
about him
son.
on the pod. He's gate,
Yeah.
gorgeous, front side and back side. Mechanics are just gorgeous. Anyway, I mean, we spoke about him earlier on the pod, but like he's unbelievable. Like he's going to be the star of the show in years to come. But then also Tom Wright from the Brumbies, like it seems to be that he's going from strength to
Well, he
strength
scored
as
his
well.
first try for the season on the weekend.
Yeah, his brother will
Seriously,
be
is
happy.
his first?
Yeah, his first
that's a
try.
nerdy
He's,
run.
he's set up
He's been
quite a lot of
assisting.
tries.
Oh, his assists are
But
through
this-
the roof.
Like, he got 10 last year, and this was his first one.
Something like, what was it, 12 carries for 90 odd metres, but 19 tackles beaten.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the
He's
guy's,
a silky mover.
He's silky, he's deceptive, he's very strong through the hips. Like, he must have strong
He also was
hips.
he was limping at some point, and then Alan Alatoa went off. Rob Leota looks like he fractured something.
Oh, yeah.
I think Dungunu at one point strapped his knee and was limping. Like you're watching these games going, like especially our Wallaby
Getting
players
closer to it, yeah.
because it's getting closer to the Lions. I mean, you can't stop injuries. We were talking about this for the last few weeks, but like,
My boy Fassler's out. I mean, Kellaway's got his knee strapped. Jorgensen's
Gordon's
out.
knee.
as well. I mean, like, everyone's bandaged up.
That's just going to be one of the things.
How do
happen
you
with the Lions
how do
as
you
well.
manage it, Drew?
Will Jorgensen be back? How many weeks was he?
His was pretty bad, syndesmosis, I thought.
Yeah.
And that's a tricky one.
Hey, let's.
I just think also Fiji really good again at
Yes.
home
Against the Force, yes.
Yeah, against the Western Force. Force again. I know for them it's just a bit of a common theme where they're in it and then they kind of get blown away and they get a big score put on them. But I thought Fiji, if they could bottle what they do when they play at home and take it on the road with them, then they'd be definitely featuring at the back end of the year because the footy they can come up with at home. And I know of course it's their own conditions and their own sort of fans and atmosphere and all that sort of stuff. But just at home, they're just a different beast. The style of footy they play, they just look like they just play with such freedom when they're at home as opposed to when they're away.
Almost like
or at
when
least
we're
it
in
comes
France.
off. Yeah.
Like the French when you go away, it's
Yeah.
almost like when you're at home, you win, but if you go away, doesn't matter.
There you go.
Mate,
Even
we
if you
Right, Jack.
We
find
used
a
to
win.
sit in a team room and they'd put up on butcher's paper the next 8 opponents, right? On the left side was our home games on the right side. And the coach would say, we'll get 5 here against this team. Away, 0. This team, we'll get 4, 0. And like, so then you get picked in the away team. You're like, well, no one expects anything. Like,
But the
it
teams
could go
you
one of
should
two
beat.
ways, right? Because
Yeah.
you go away and you're like, oh, well, I don't expect us to win, so it's all right if we don't. Or it can go the other way, going, fuck it, like let's show them.
My first away game I went there, it was a draw, cast. I'm in the sheds, like about to walk back, and I was like, oh, so close we could have won. There's music going, partying. Like the bus driver couldn't see out the front windscreen because all the cigarettes that blokes were having on the drive back. So you had to pull over and let it out. Like it's a
Was that the same at Bordeaux?
different beast. yeah.
Exact same thing. Second, my first away game was up against Rustling against DC, and we just missed got within 3 or 4 points, and we just missed a conversion in the end to kind of take the lead. So we ended up losing by 1 or 2, and I was absolutely filthy because I wanted to kind of make a bit of a mark, and it's one of those games where it's just that means a little bit to you. And obviously there's a lot of kind of weight or pressure on your shoulders because you are the marquee signing in a way. And so kind of going back in the change rooms, just head down, filthy, came in, blokes are high-fiving, music's on. I was like, I kind of quickly had to check to see what the score was again. Did
Losing
that goal
bonus
go
point.
through the post?
Yeah.
I said, what's going on? And they all went, defensive bonus point. It's good. It's good. Boys on the ciggies and music. I was like, okay,
Yeah, mate.
I could get used to this.
It's weird.
Yeah, like we get into, like, if you win an away game, you go, keep your jerseys. And then the gear guy's like, yeah, keep your jerseys because it's like a big win. You just get to keep your jerseys.
Oh, as in you take it home?
Yeah, you get to take it home and get
Yeah.
fresh, like, because sometimes you get 3 or 4 games out of a jersey.
So you guys won 3 championships with Toulon. What percentage of away wins would you have won?
Oh, we would have still done
40 bucks
70%.
still
Oh,
do right.
You reckon?
Oh, I mean, I
70%
just threw out a number. I don't
Yeah, I don't know.
Low?
A lot of games.
But it was just the mindset around it's almost okay if you show a bit of character, and losing bonus point shows that you had a crack. But if you're at home and you lose, like, phew, they start whistling and
Mate, at the start of the year, for one of our Toulon seasons, Murad, the owner, said, all right, guys, for away games, you got 4 chartered flights. If you win an away game, you get another one. If you lose a home game, we'll take one off you. And I was like, boys, let's just use them all up early in the season, because if we're in contention with the finals, he's not going to make us sit on a bus. Like, use them up early and we'll get a few at the back end anyway. But that's the sort of the mindset. You get, like, rewarded with or penalised if you lose home games.
So he's sticking his athletes on a bus.
mate, we would bust 10 hours.
10 hours, the day before a game.
Watch this segue. So, Simon Cron's not happy with the Forces travel. So this year they've done 49,050 kilometres. They're blaming it for a part of the bad season.
Think of your corners points.
Would they be flying? Would they be
No.
turning left?
No,
you still
because
get
it's over
points.
5 hours.
So they're obviously part of that hectic schedule this week. Nick White, Hamish Stewart and Harry Potter, they didn't play. 3 of their
Carlo
guns.
as well.
Yeah. And then Tizano, he's hurt his...
Still injured. Yeah.
Oh, he's injured, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, you go to the Force, you know you're going to travel because you are in the middle of it.
Yeah,
I
but
know
what
you
he's
two did
arguing is that they could group their away games better, right? So, like, say the 2 New Zealand games and Fiji away game, put them in a 3-week block rather than go to New Zealand, back to Perth for a game, back to Fiji and back. Like, which I agree with that. The scheduling could be a lot better, but at the same time, like, there's, geographical sort of positioning. There's going to be more travel, but I think they could reduce it. I think what he's saying is they could reduce it by 40% by just scheduling blocks of away games. So if they're playing the Reds and Brumbies, for example, do them back-to-back weeks so they don't have to come back and forth.
It's what they used to do when we go to South Africa.
South Africa, and I mean, there's definitely more travel hours in the top 14 than there is in Super, but it's not the distance, right? Because we do the 10 hours the day before a game on a bus, play an after 2 o'clock in the afternoon game. At 5 o'clock, you're on the bus on the way back home, get home at 4 in the morning. Like, so that in terms of hours spent, and that's closer to the game. Whereas at least, when we were South Africa and all that, it's 12 hours, 16 hours, whatever it is, but it's laying flat and it's once a year, like once a season. So in terms of hours spent, you're probably doing more in the French comp because you're a lot of the time you're on a bus.
So why do they stick you on a bus? There's more cash.
Yeah, but it's budget.
France,
You're
right?
playing that many games.
Yeah.
Oh,
Home and away.
It's like 40 games in a year.
Yeah,
Right?
so just when you go away, it's just, it is what it is.
But-
like, it's just,
Yeah, I do agree with Cronny in terms of the scheduling
I agree.
should be reconsidered.
Very good. All right. Hey, that's a superb rugby. We'll get into the Wallaroos defeat of the USA Eagles. We'll do that before we get into Ilona. Let's do some other rugby news. Let's do a bit of player tracker.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Tom Wright, he's signed for 3 more years.
Righty,
Yes.
nice work.
I think we can all agree. Good
You've got
signing,
the
playing
right
very
stuff.
well.
Yeah.
And, you know, we probably think here on the show he should be the 15 for the Wallabies. We all in agreement
Yep.
there. Angus Blythe, he's been rumoured to be going to the Waratahs next season.
Yeah, another. They just seem to pick him
We'll
up.
wait for it.
Yeah, here we go.
And then Pete Samu.
Here we go.
And old Brumby, guess where he's coming?
Yeah, he's going to Tars.
Yep.
Maybe he's a plant because
Well-
he's Brumby, like down to
Yeah.
the core.
Well, see, Lungy Gleeson's leaving, so there's obviously a spot there for him to go.
That's a
straight
good
into
move
it.
though. Like
Yeah.
Pete Samu, who's playing some good
Yeah.
rugby before he left. He's been playing some big minutes for Bordeaux, going well. I believe.
Well, they're in the
Swoop.
final this weekend.
Yep.
Champions Cup final. Bordeaux,
Against
Northampton.
Will they get it done, Swoop?
I believe they will.
Yes, very good.
Nice check.
What else have we got for you? Les Kiss. He is going to be the Australian-New Zealand Invitational head coach to face the Lions, which is a nice little taste for him. Before
Early taste.
Early taste, early touch.
What some would say
You
entree.
know, they thought it was going to be Ian Foster for a while, the old Kiwi coach.
Oh, yeah.
And so I did a radio interview with Izzy Dag, and we started to push because Israel Dag and I did a promotional thing for that game, right down in Adelaide Oval, climbed the roof of the stadium last year.
Great picks.
Yeah,
Climb the
great
roof of the
picks.
stadium.
Yeah,
Yeah, he did
right
that.
up the top on the harness, like whatever.
Ah.
And then, so we started a bit of a campaign to maybe try and be the water boys for that team. And so he texted Ian Foster saying, Fozzie, Drew Mitchell and I are keen to be the water boys for your team. He goes, no, mate, we're taking this seriously. We're like, any other roles? Tour liaison or whatever?
I reckon
so now,
Les will
now it's
take
not
it
Fozzie.
serious.
Let's go to Les.
Les would have you in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Loves
Yeah,
you.
he doesn't look like a serious character, Les.
No, but I mean, I've had a Les Kiss next to Les Kiss. Like, we go way back. We've shared moments.
Yeah, that's
Had a little
true.
peek.
You're better off hitting up Todai.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's the other one.
Yeah, Todai Kefu is the head coach of the First Nations and Pacifica 15.
Yeah, that'll be
What are your
great too.
chances
I
So
reckon
yeah,
Georgie
Game.
Smith will be involved there
Should be.
as a forwards coach, or maybe just a mentor, or more just enjoyment factor.
Well, do you remember when we were in France for the 23 World Cup? We were in Cassis and George was staying with us.
Yeah.
And Todai was in Marseille. And it was quite late in the evening. And Georgie got a text message from Todai saying, hey, mate, come to my hotel for a drink. And we're a good hour and a half from Marseille. And George is like, starts putting his shoes on. He's like, mate, if the boss tells you to do that, you got to do it. And we're like, surely you don't. Like,
Hierarchy.
we had such a
like
big
senpai,
day. We had
go
like,
high. Yeah.
and he just was like, no, mate, like that's just like if Todai calls you somewhere, you do it.
Just the
Why is
Tongan,
Todai
or
the-
Tongan, like the Tongans, senpai, kohai, like the higher up. We just respect your
Respect,
elders,
yeah.
like
Chief,
culturally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hierarchy. Respect,
And Todai
yeah.
said, George, you got to come. So
I used to love.
And he just had to go until Todai was finished.
You're right. Wow.
Yeah, Cliffy Palu had some genuine dominance.
Yeah.
In his years at the. At
He'd
the
be good also
Waratahs.
to be involved in that
Oh, he'd have to
set
be.
up because he's coaching over in Japan.
Yeah,
He'd be off at that point.
yeah.
keep
Just-
going. What were you going?
Yeah.
Oh no, just obviously, young guys can get a little astray, like get a little loose around the program, and Cliffy just have to click his fingers.
Oh yeah,
There was
and
one
the
just-
chief.
Was one
and
time,
it,
you
it was beyond just the rugby too. It was like life. And,
Yeah, wow.
Oh mate, awesome.
There's one time one of the Tongan boys at the Waratahs got into a bit of strife, and he had to have a meeting with the team manager, Webby, and Cliffy went in with him, and Webby's like, mate, so this has gone on, blah blah blah. This is your punishment, all sweet. And then the guy who was in trouble went to say something, and Cliff just went, he's sweet. And just sort of spoke on his behalf, put his hand across his chest.
That's
yeah,
so cool.
yeah, he's
But it
sweet.
wasn't just the I guess the Polynesian contingent that fell into line. It was us
Oh, yeah,
too, right?
100%.
Cliffy kind of looked at you, just like, okay, mate, what do you need? I mean, I've feared death a couple of times in my life. There was one moment where I feared death on a Mad Monday, where
You feared.
I feared
For you.
for you and me because I just didn't know what was going to happen. You want to take us through it, Drew?
Yeah, so we went to Mad Monday, and it was all about sort of heading west out to Dave Dennis's place because he was our captain, and
At an EK.
we all had like mini teams because basically it's we're doing a bit of a pub crawl from venue to venue, ending out at Richmond, out at Dave Dennis's family farm, And just to keep people engaged throughout the whole day rather than just getting too loose, like they came up with the idea of having mini teams and having a challenge at every venue we went to on the way out. And actually, we went as bikies, and we
Jack's Angels.
We went and bought like Pee-wee 50s.
Yeah, like proper petrol Pee-wee 50s.
Anyway, Cliffy was
awesome.
in our team, and he's like, boys, we've got to win this. And he took it really seriously. And it was sort of like, one was like the basketball game, the arcade basketball game and all that. And then we get to probably the third or fourth one, and it's that punching arcade game. And he's like, and at the start, he's like, I know that there's a punching one. And he goes, guys, someone's got to punch me in the face and we'll get more points for X Factor. And I was like, and I knew that this whole thing was like, there was no prize at the end of it. It was just to kind of like keep the guys on the straight. And he goes, boy, so someone's got to punch me, like to get.
Instead of punching the bag,
you've got to punch Cliff, right? And I'm like, that's not happening. And then Lepetti Tamani was like, oh, I'll do it. And we're like, you're fucking not doing it. And anyway, we kind of dismissed it there. Second one, he's like, guys, but for the punching one, someone's got to punch me. And we're like sitting there to each other going, shit, surely. Like, we're not
your
gonna
mini
have to
team
do
were
that.
lacking points, so you needed to come.
And then we get to the punching one, and all the boys around in fancy dress and everything. And Swoop gets up for our team. He's the second last one to do it. And he punches this thing and goes well above everyone else. And we're like, okay. We're sitting pretty. We don't have to punch anyone in the face. And then Beric Barnes steps up for the last team and beats Swoop. And then everyone's like his team's all cheering. He goes, all right, well, that's done. And Cliff just goes, stop. There's one more. And I'm like, and then he just puts the thing down and he stands in front of it and he goes, Drew.
And at this moment, everyone just went.
And I've never punched someone.
Yeah,
right.
That's
Let alone
probably
in
what
the
he's
face.
thinking.
And he's just like, and I said, and he comes up to me. He goes, mate, hit me here. Because if it splits me, we'll get extra. And I'm like, Cliff, I'm not comfortable with this. And he's like, mate, do it. And so everyone's sort of like, no one really is in on it except for our little mini team, but they also don't know if I'm going to do it. And I was just like, and I just sort of go back and I just went whack. And I've slept him.
Mate, you could hear a pin drop.
I've slept him.
what do you mean you knocked him out?
Yeah,
he
fell against the wall, and then we have to pour water on his head. And he's like, "What's going on? What's going on? Why is everyone dressed up?" Mate, Johnny Lungia come up to me. He goes, "Mate, I know that he was telling you to do it. Just be careful." And
I was about to say the Tongan boys would have been after
mate, and so the room just went so. My heart rate was through the roof. You could hear it beating at a fucking high rate of knots, and you were just basically. Eyes over your shoulder all day after that, and so was everyone else.
And then we get to the to Dave Dennis's place, and a couple of his family members are doing the spit out there, getting a prep for us, and then they start teasing Cliffy, going, "Oh, you're getting knocked out by a little winger, eh?" And I was like, "Guys, please don't, please don't." So what up, Cliff?
Anyway,
yeah.
They won that challenge, but I think you lost the day.
Yeah. No, I ended up putting him. I took him to the train station later that night. We're at Scuba and I walked into the train. Are you okay? I was doing everything I could.
You guys have been pretty tight since.
Yeah, I can imagine. How have you not told us that story before?
Yeah, I don't know.
Have you heard that one before, Gitz?
Yeah, I knew.
Oh, my God.
Well, what they did miss out, where they turn up, they had their proper motorbikes into the pub and they're doing burnouts throughout the pub.
We were fashionably late for a reason.
Yeah.
Good smoked out the whole joint. And then we end up taking those mini bikes on the school bus, which was taking everyone from joint to joint.
Yeah.
Up and down.
Up and down the aisles.
Now, I mean, this is an amazing story, but our very special guest, I believe, has joined us. I wonder if she heard that whole story.
I hope not.
Just then. Ilona, are you there?
Don't trust hotel Wi-Fi.
Yeah, right.
Especially not in New Zealand.
Yeah.
Especially not New Zealand. That's what they're saying.
Yeah. Spot on.
Oh,
Hey, there we go.
She's done this before. She knows the Go landscape.
Have you ever seen a frame of our little show? Have you ever seen anything that we do?
Politically correct. Love what you guys are doing. In all honesty, no idea what's happening.
Okay. To explain what we are, we're a very serious analytical show. We like to break down breakdowns. That's our thing. No, what we do is we like to introduce our guests with a bit of a fancy intro. We've got a wordsmith here, a guy called Tom, who writes a little intro.
Oh, I bet this is nice too.
This will be a lovely one, and he gets a bit flowery with his words. He's a big fan of yours, so I get the feeling you're going to like this one.
Thank you.
Yes.
For that man.
To Tommy. All right, here we go. This week on the KOKO Show, we are joined quite simply by the biggest name in world rugby. You can have your Antoine Duponts, your Sia Khaleesi's, and even your Joseph Suaalihis, because we have the player that tops them all. This guest has carved out an illustrious career playing for the USA at over 30 international sevens tournaments. She is an Olympic medalist, and now she is plying her trade in the 15s game in preparation for the 2025 Rugby World Cup. Although she is a beast on the field, it is her work off that makes her truly special. She is an authentic pioneer for women's sport the world over, a total badass in the body positivity space, a media mogul in every sense of the title, and now a social media sensation. All her momentous successes can be boiled down to hard work, a selfless soul, and a personality that has the world hook, line, and sinker. She is the visionary from Vermont, the lipstick-laden legend, and the baddest bae in all of rugby. KOKO fans, get ready to dance with this absolute superstar as our little show rumbles its way into the record books. Please welcome the one and only Ilona Maher.
Yeah.
Wow.
Tommy, that was good, man.
Tommy
Thank you.
red-faced over there as you were reading it. He was so
Stop.
smitten.
Now I'm blushing too.
Yeah, wow.
That was some great stuff. Ilona, first I just want to ask, how is Ilona Maher? I mean, there's so much, like, I would imagine with the position that you're in and the platform that you have, that there's a fair bit of pressure involved and expectation maybe at times, but how are you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty good. Thankfully have like a really good team around me. I have a great agent, great sister who's my manager. So it's been good. The team's been helpful. I think that sometimes it can be a lot. It can be a lot of pressure to not only I think perform on the field, but also all the things that I do off it and continue to be perceived in a certain way. So I'm good. I'm definitely, my shoulder hurts though. 15s is a different game. Everything hurts on me. I'm going through it.
I want to touch upon, I don't know if you know, but the Men's World Cup 2027 is in Australia and Canberra don't have a game. You were down in Canberra. How did you enjoy the week? I imagine you girls would have had the time of your life in Canberra, but how did you enjoy the stadium and everything there?
You know what? It was nice. I got to see kangaroos for the first time. That was really cool. I liked, I personally am one who loves the food scene. I thought the food scene was really fun there. We got to, I don't know if we're frozen or not.
No, we're good.
We're good. Sorry. You like to stay one way. Like the food scene was great. We stayed at the Australia Institute of Sport, which is so cool to be kind of around like their Olympics sport village, which is where we train for sevens. We train at Chula Vista, which is our Olympic base. So it was really cool. And also to play, doubleheader with the Brumbies and Reds game. That was really cool. Brought in some fans, brought in even fans who maybe would just go see Brumbies, but instead they're watching us play as well. So I liked it. I don't know much about the destinations for the World Cup, but it definitely was a great place to play. And, I think we hopefully could have gotten more fans out there, but I just hope each year as it gets bigger. And I think that the Women's World Cup is going to be there at some time too, right?
Yeah, 2029, yeah.
2029, yeah. And I think that hopefully for the way the Australian women are playing as well, that the fan numbers will just grow no matter what city we're in, Canberra, Newcastle.
Now, Ilona, your game against Canada drew a record crowd for women's rugby of all time. I mean, the sport is just going from strength to strength. You must be happy with the direction it's going.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the main reason I started doing social media in a way, was to get my sport out there, and to see it grow like this has been really kind of reaping the benefits, the rewards there, because, we all want eyes on our game because it's going to help us in so many different ways. We need people to fill the seats. We need to get more fans in there buying the tickets so that we can make more money ourselves and consider this a career. So it's still an uphill battle. I mean, it was a great game in Kansas City, 10,000 fans there, so that set a record, but it's not enough. And we need to be getting those 10,000 plus fans in every stadium. We need to get it when we go play in Canberra, when we, play wherever it is. It should be almost a now given to have 10,000 fans.
Ilona, Swoop here. We saw a nice moment with you and Charlotte Caslick after the game, and you said that you'd been competing against Charlotte for most of the time, right, since you guys were involved in the sevens. She's recently gone through the transition from sevens to 15s too and finding her feet, doing quite well. How's your transition been, and what are you experiencing?
It's definitely been tough. I think you look up and there's so many more bodies on the field. I haven't gotten to play 15s in so long. I played for a couple games in 2021 for USA, but then other than that, the last time I really was seriously in it was college. So they are very different games. Yes, at the root they are rugby, but it's just so different in many ways. So it's definitely taken a lot, and it's kind of like each game you start to figure it out a little bit more because it's so different than practice at times. And you're like, okay, this is it. So I'm definitely liking the trajectory I'm on, trying to figure it out. But it has been tough. I mean, you come up against the best. You're kind of really just thrown into it. You go up against some of the best defenses in the world. We played against Canada, who's number 2 right now, and that was my first game back, my first full game back. So it's definitely been tough. I mean, instead of maybe breaking through one and scoring a try, it's going to be breaking through one and then hopefully gaining 5 more meters after that, but then being taken down.
I mean, from a girl from Vermont, how do you find it? Like, you're in Canberra on the other, the other side. No, I'm not. But the other side of the world, and there was a nice little moment where you caught yourself on the big screen where one of the fans had, a placard of you. Like, it must just be like a couple of pinch me moments throughout sort of, the last few years that what you've been going through to just be like, wow, this is like, the impact that you're having. I mean, there's even Wallabies former captain David Pocock, current senator here in Australia, that was fangirling over you as well in the crowd as well. I mean, those kind of moments must also be pretty special aside from what you're achieving on the field as well.
Yeah, in a way, those moments are so special, but also I feel in a way like that's awesome. I've been putting my personality out there for these moments. I mean, I've consistently been kind of posting and sharing a lot of myself because I want people to connect with me. So it feels good and feels right to see people connect with me in that way and coming out to see me. But it definitely hasn't been like a whirlwind. It just feels, I guess, right in a way. Yeah. I love it. I love the trajectory it's going, and I love that I get to do this and play rugby.
When I moved over, I went to San Diego just for one season. I was rooming with Alex Corbacero. You know Corbs pretty well, the mad rapper.
Oh, I know Corbs, yeah.
Yes. So we used to, actually from Corbs, we had him on the show, and it started almost like a run of serious one for me, but outside of rugby. And he was really big into his cartoon characters, as we all were growing up. Question I want to know, was there ever a cartoon character that really you fancied?
As in, had a crush on?
To give you context, like for me, I was April, yes, from the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, I was Pocahontas.
Swoop you.
Jasmine from Aladdin.
And I was Jessica Rabbit.
Yes.
Of course. I Jessica Rabbit and said, this is going to come out of left field. I don't want to be judged for it.
No, we don't judge.
We love a curveball.
Lion King 2.
Lion King 2?
The lion from the Badlands, Kovu.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. I thought you were about to say Rafiki. I was about to say that.
He had the black hair, right?
No. He's the bad lion. Yeah. He's actually a good lion. I love that guy.
Yeah, I'm feeling it.
But I guess maybe boring like Prince Eric or something, but it's the lion.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kovu was a handsome lion from memory.
Okay.
Yeah,
he's a handsome lion. He's got a dark, mysterious thing going on about him, for sure.
I'm feeling it. Now, Ilona, I have today subscribed to your podcast, House of Ma, with you and your two sisters.
Thank you.
Had a good listen on the way in. Give us some podcast tips. You guys are braining it. We're fledgling, is the best way to describe it. How do we become more entertaining?
I would say, just show the personality through it, like laugh through it. I think sometimes, and this is maybe directed, but men's rugby players, you probably all experience it. This kind of told to be very stoic, and you're very serious with it. But people love to have a laugh. They love to hear people shooting the shit, and so connect with athletes on the level that they're not just the athlete; they're also the person who is super funny in the locker room, who has a personality, who loves to crack up with their mates. And I think that just like that we're all people. You guys know it as athletes and being the best of the best yourselves. Like how much sometimes you're put in a box to be serious, but man, I think we're pretty funny. So
I feel like we're getting two of them pretty right. Like in terms of personality, yes. Like you could probably show a little bit more personality, Prop.
Okay.
But in terms of letting go, I feel like that's all we've done since we've retired from footy. Let go.
Maybe you need to bring it back a touch, Swoop. Maybe it's too much personality. You want to talk about? This is a perfect time to bring up your love of cheese, Ilona.
Yeah.
Is it a Vermont cheddar that's your favourite? Is that, or do you have a favourite cheese?
I would say a solid, sharp Vermont cheddar can't be beaten. Yes.
So the reason I bring it up is I don't know how much you know about these guys, but I wanted to describe them to you using cheeses so that you could understand who they are as people. So,
okay, here we go. Yeah, this will be a stitch up.
There's no stitch up.
Sure.
This is for Ilona's benefit. So,
Can we describe you and cheese after?
yeah, you can pick a cheese, mate. Go if you like. So one of them's a triple cream brie. Very smooth, very versatile, undeniably classy, but with a soft centre that catches you off guard. That's Drew Mitchell.
Oh, wow.
Thanks,
Beautiful.
bro.
Okay, hey Drew.
Hey. Well
The next one is a hardened wedge of aged cheddar.
Here we go. This is me.
It's hard to touch, a simple cheese for an undefined palate. That's definitely.
Yeah, appreciate it.
And then finally, it's a smoked Gouda, which is swoop. It's smooth, reliable, very tasty, and smells like smoke.
All right.
And what are you? Cheese stick.
Just a cheese stick. Absolutely. Did you get to sample any cheeses while you're in Canberra? Did you get out there and...
What did I eat? You know what? I ate a lot of Japanese food. To me, because of the conversion rate, money was free.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like living my best life. It's not even that good of a conversion rate, but I thought I was spending it everywhere.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty decent.
Ilona, you've done some amazing things off the field as well. I mean, talk us through a little bit of that Dancing with the Stars experience. I mean, you absolutely smashed it.
Yeah, I was really hesitant to do that. I am not a dancer. I can maybe hold a little bit of a tune in the club, but this was definitely something that was going to be completely different for me. And I knew that it would be a lot of work, and it was a lot of work. It was every day, 7 days a week. I wasn't able to do anything besides it. But what I loved about it is after coming after the Olympics, you get known as that Olympian, and then as the Olympics die down, it's kind of like you kind of die down as well. But hopefully I would have stayed relevant. But the good thing about Dancing with the Stars is I was on people's screens every week, and I was posting every day and staying top of people's minds, and people got to tune in and see me and connect with me more in this way and see somebody like me, my size, big, muscular, being super sexy, being beautiful out there. I think it was, not so much for me, but also for the young girls watching. I play we all do. I play a tough sport that's sometimes described as very masculine, and I'm described as very manly for playing it. So this was another opportunity for me to show a different side to myself and again, show that, female athletes aren't put into a box, and we can be so much more than our sport. And we can, I do love the change in women's rugby about women, wanting to show their beauty and wear makeup, because it is just something that I think it's told to leave at the door in terms of rugby.
Yeah, that's a great answer. But you must have, just before you're about to go out, is there any part of you, because I could think of nothing worse than to dance in front of people, getting judged. There's got to be a point where you're just, is it too late to back out? What were the nerves like? It's got to be worse than any game of rugby you've played.
You know what? You do the dances so much. You do them probably 500 times. You're practicing throughout the week. It wasn't until I was on tour with Dancing with the Stars earlier this year when I was about to go out, and I was sitting there in the changing room, I don't think I actually like dancing at all. I was oh God, this thing, I don't actually think I like this stuff. So it wasn't I actually kind of treated every time I went to dance like a game, and I would do my mantras in my head and did my breathing techniques that I did before the Olympic Games. I was saying the stuff, I was whispering to myself, looking like a crazy person, getting in my head to, in rugby, getting in my head to go get beat up out there. This was just to go, dance, twinkle my little toes. It was tough. And honestly, I've retired from dance. I don't need to do that again. I don't think I've gotten any better at dance, to be honest, as well.
Ilona, if there's one way to come out of retirement for dancing, it's if you find the perfect dance partner. Now, these three gentlemen here love to talk about how good they are at dancing. It's what you do.
No,
you go out for a couple
don't.
of drinks, music starts playing.
No, mate.
You start doing moves. I want you, Ilona, could you humour them for a second? If the three of them show you a dance move.
Oh, no. This is not
Could you
happening, mate.
choose?
Come on, guys.
Come on. This is...
Tommy, we're going to have to move
want
this
it.
coffee table, please.
So Tommy's just going to move the coffee table, Ilona.
I actually need to go to the toilet. Do you guys mind if I just go for a...
Stay
Mate,
here.
I honestly, I've just been hit with a massive lot of anxiety.
Don't. No, well, this is
I
what
mean,
Ilona-
Ilona's just encouraging us to show different sides of ourselves. Come on, boys,
mate,
let's embrace this.
No, mate.
I did it
seriously.
every Tuesday for 10 weeks.
I know.
in front of all of America.
I get it.
Well, Drew,
Wow.
would you mind going
Yeah,
first?
Drew.
Sure,
You
I'll
go
go
first.
first,
Yes.
but only if you boys like back up.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll be your backup.
Sure, yeah, definitely. Yeah, we'll go after
So-
you.
What is it, just like one
Your
thing?
best move. So this is, you could end up on Dancing with the Stars with Ilona. This is what we're saying.
okay, I'm with you.
In America.
Okay,
this is.
okay.
Here we go. Okay.
Here we go. Yeah,
Yeah.
there it is. Easy, man. That's where you sit.
Okay.
That's where you sit. There it is. Yup. Yup. Easy. Yup.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Oh,
he's
shit.
good, guys.
Great hips.
Really
Oh,
good.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my god.
Yeah. Yep.
No, he's good.
He's good. There's no point in any of
No,
us
come
having to
on.
go.
No, here
You
we go.
can't.
I
Come on.
can't.
Kids
I
is
really,
really good at the
can't.
worm. Kids
Oh,
is
mate,
really
you have
good at
no
the worm.
idea how I feel.
Let's go. Quick.
Beef.
Oh, look,
Let's go.
I
Sorry.
usually every now and then I'll start
Show us your
I'll
moves.
crip walk or something
Okay.
gangster like
Here
that,
we
and then
go.
I'll just get into it.
Yeah, all gangster like. There you go.
Oh,
A classic. Whoa. Okay,
Oh, that's
knock
it.
The worm out of it.
Mate, that
No,
was actually
okay.
really strong.
Yeah,
Now,
he's
Goy.
gone. All right.
come on, kids.
Oh,
Where did he go? Did he pull something?
Yeah,
Well,
but
Ilona's got to go to a
let's go.
team meeting.
oh, mate, so do I. Seriously.
He's super nervous.
here we go. Kids, you're a very
Here
good
we
dancer.
go. Here we go. It's all in the hips, man.
Why have we got a cushion?
Oh, why do you have a pillow? Okay, yeah. Easy. Okay.
Okay, give us,
Yeah.
give us
Oh,
Saturday,
there it is.
give
Come
us
on.
Saturday Night Fever. Give us Saturday Night Fever.
Yeah.
Here we go. Well, you can tell by the way. Okay, yep. Here we go.
Yeah.
Good.
That's
Yep.
where you stay. That's easy, man. That's where you gotta stay. It's all good.
Oh,
Nice,
disappointing you
nice.
get.
All right.
No, I
Ilona.
can't go. Sorry. I got very nervous there. Like,
You did, didn't you?
Yeah,
it felt
it's
like
okay, buddy.
before
It's
a test
okay.
debut. This is exactly what I was talking about. That feeling right there, I could only imagine you going through that and dancing in front of, well, so for us, it's only 24 million, but America, 330 million. Like, well done. Like, amazing.
But I think in a way, like, the rugby has prepared me because you kind of go out there prepared to make mistakes and stuff. Even though I feel very comfortable in rugby, I was like a new challenge to take on, something new to do. It was exciting in a way, and also I've never been afraid to like show the many sides of me, show the mistakes, show the vulnerabilities. I think people love that about me, and I just thought this was another
absolutely.
platform to do that. I mean, I cried on national television. I messed up one dance completely and cried, and people just loved it. So it was a great time for me.
Yeah.
If you had to pick one of these three boys,
Oh, mate,
I think
please.
we all know who the answer is. Was it Drew, first one?
For sure, Drew. I mean, that was 10 out of 10, I would say, across the board.
10 out of 10.
I'd be honoured.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be honoured.
Ilona, I wanted to quickly talk to you about the Olympic Games experience.
Please.
Must have been amazing. In particular, your stuff coming out of the Olympic Village was absolutely brilliant. That's all, where we all tuned in. Can you tell us about what it's like in the Olympic Village? This is what we all want to know. Is it amazing? Is it as much fun as everybody says it is?
Yeah. The thing is that everything's just like a crazy party time, but really it's all these people trying to fulfill their dreams. So they're locked in for most of it. And they're locked in until the end of the games. I mean, track and field goes till the last day. So it's really not as crazy as you would assume. The food was not too good.
Oh, really?
No, it wasn't. I mean, they're feeding so many people.
Yeah,
I
it'd be
think
buffet
Japan, the
style.
food was
Yeah,
amazing.
but I just thought there
for
was so
Tokyo.
much selection. I've heard there was heaps of selection, but is it just poor? Is it?
Heaps of selection, but I think they're feeding so many people
Yeah.
that it's just not. I mean, they love the muffins. People love the muffins. But it was really cool. I mean, you get to be there around some of the fittest, best people in the world who are the best at what they do. It's an environment to be in, really. And the people that you meet, there's like, we do pin trading where you get to trade pins with so many people. So you just go up to somebody from Ukraine, from Kenya, and you get to kind of connect with all these people all over the world. It's really cool to say that, to like, because so many people will never get to experience that and never get to step a foot in the Olympic Village. And it was really, I mean, that's my second time, and I hope to go for a third, but it's not as a party as you would assume. You got to go outside for that.
And what about, was there any other athlete that you met that you were a bit maybe starstruck by, or your favourite selfie that you've requested?
I'd met her before, but it was good always to meet Coco Gauff. We shared pins. I think that America has so many athletes that people love, and it's kind of cool that you're just teammates there. I mean, you're teammates with LeBron James, you're teammates with Simone Biles, so it's kind of cool in a way to be on that level with these people who are just so amazing at what they do. I guess there's only Americans. Hold on, there's other people.
Were there any Aussies? Was there an Aussie that you met where you went, oh God, this guy's driving me nuts? Was there any of those?
It might have been Harry McNulty.
Yeah.
He was known as Potholes in the village because it was someone that you tried to avoid. Everyone was trying to avoid him. He had 1,000, but he had lots of pins. That's how I first knew about it. Like, it went massive. He had a handful of like 40. Would he have 40 pins? Yeah, there'd be 40 countries.
He has more. He is a pin trader. He loves trading pins like that. Yeah.
So obviously we've got the Rugby World Cup coming up. You're going to have that campaign. Have you got any plans post Rugby World Cup? What is next for Ilona Maher?
I'm chilling out.
Yeah.
I'm just going to chill out. I've been kind of on the go since the Olympics, really. I mean, right into Dance with the Stars, then right over to England to play, and then busy after England, and then right into this. So, and then June's a busy month for me. I think I'm just going to take some time off, really, to heal my body, I guess, be able to do the opportunities I want to do. I think hopefully, like, take some time off from rugby so that I can say yes to opportunities. I can say yes to going here, to doing this and that, because rugby does take out so much of my time. And I mean, this has been a 6-week tour, so very hard to do other things, but I'm excited to just maybe focus more on the media side and see if I can put myself in other spaces and continue to grow my brand and without rugby, which is scary, but I also would love to see what else I can do.
Well, you're all over the magazine stands at the moment. Another appearance in the Sports Illustrated swimsuit magazine. I mean, how was that with getting shot with some of the other athletes?
That was so cool. I mean, I love it. I think again, it's another platform where I get to showcase that kind of idea that strong is beautiful, strong is sexy. So I've loved being in it. This is my second time now, and maybe it's just being a rugby player, but I was like, less fabric, let's go, let's get out there. And it's been so cool to show it off, and people just love it, and I love being myself on the cover, and girls seeing somebody who looks like them, who have maybe been told that they're too big or too broad to be beautiful, and then they see me and hopefully feel a little bit better.
Well, Ilona, you're doing an amazing job.
Yeah, very good.
And we are watching you from afar down here in Australia. It is so wonderful that you came on our show.
Well, lastly, what about, you've got a game this week against the Black Ferns. What are you looking forward to most about that?
Oh, man. Some good rugby. Hopefully I'm excited. I think that Portia Woodman had to come out of retirement. She couldn't have waited until after this game, I guess. So we're playing.
You're likely to be head to head, right, at outside centre?
Yeah, I think she'll be playing maybe some outside center, so that'll be fun for me. But I'm excited. I think that I've loved to go to these other countries and play rugby and see that my impact isn't just in America. It's been kind of worldwide in many ways, and I hope to see it here as well in Auckland, get more people out, and it's going to be a tough game. I mean, they just tied with Canada, but they beat Australia, and Australia beat us, so it won't be an easy win. It will take a lot from us.
So you three, for many, many years, went to New Zealand against the New Zealand side, where you gave the same reaction that Ilona just gave when people asked. Yeah. Have you got any tips for Ilona going to play against New Zealand over there?
Don't do what we did, because we weren't successful.
Perfect.
Yeah, that'll help you. Ilona, thank you so much for joining us. Good luck against the Black Ferns. And keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, thank you so much. Fantastic. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
bye.
Ilona.
No shit. I'm running my teeth and it's not coming. Mate, you look like the way you've applied it.
Yeah. What we do with our guests to pull back the curtain is we record a little teaser as they get off that. Someone had the bright idea, fucking Tom, I think, for us to put on lipstick, because obviously Ilona wears the beautiful lipstick while she plays.
She's also
Maybelline
ambassador. Yeah.
So we've just done that, and she let us know while we were doing it that it's basically permanent. So
it lasts an entire day of sevens when she plays sevens.
Seriously, it's like a Posca. It's on my teeth.
Look how much we've wiped off.
I don't know. Maybe we can
And-
roll in some stuff of her laughing at us.
Somebody's got to clip this. This is not coming off, you guys.
What do you
That's
mean?
why I wear it to play rugby.
What do you mean it's
It's
not?
like it stays on. You guys are gonna get messed up. You guys ever applied lipstick?
No.
I mean, no.
While we're talking
It's still all over.
Am I
Right?
getting anywhere?
Have you got any meetings tomorrow?
Yeah. Might be on Zoom with no camera.
You haven't got any.
You're
I swear, I got my son's interview for high school tomorrow. I swear, I just remembered. Oh dear.
if you are listening, you
Anyway,
need to go
I know Mr. Hutchinson. This is what happened.
and have a look at.
Ilona said, was it olive oil or something, apparently?
Yeah, what was it? My salad water.
Oh yeah. Who's carrying around Marcello water?
What is
What's
Marcello
that?
water?
I don't know.
Oh, anyway, what a wonderful.
It doesn't taste great.
I mean, it's great for her to come on.
Yeah.
She sent me her,
so good.
her daily schedule and the amount of different things that she had on. And it just so happened that this was a break. She's in New Zealand. I think it's around her dinner time. So to give us that time was great. And
I hope we didn't.
also,
win.
she's just doing great things.
Oh, she is.
Yeah,
Amazing
even after
for,
she's
her,
killing
for
it.
women's sport and for rugby union.
Yeah.
I just hope we didn't weird her out too much. I know we can do that with people.
I feel like she'd probably prefer the weirder stuff
Yeah.
than just the normal mundane.
Yeah,
rugby
yeah.
questions.
She would have already had a lot of those.
Hey, this will come in handy. Makeup remover.
Oh, there we go. So that's basically the show. The last thing we need to do is just give our last. We're currently doing the Lion Tamers. Obviously, we did our locked in Lions. We just need to pick the next 4 Wallabies that we'll think will go into Joe Smith's 38-man squad. We're calling them the Lion Tamers. We did our props last week. I think we're going to name one more prop and then maybe get into the hookers.
Whatever you reckon. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yes, I get it.
Yeah, no, I didn't mean. Yeah, but
my
you know what I
lepers.
mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The number 2s.
Well, the fact that we're dressed.
Yeah. No, bottom teeth.
Okay, could I have the makeup stuff while we go? So let's go here, gents. So far, Angus Bell, Alan Alatoa, James Slipper, and Tom Robertson have been named as your props. Let's name our last prop. Did you want to do it? Did you have one?
I'm gonna support Taniela getting back on top of form. He's like Lucan Salakailoto said, for them to be successful, he's got to be at the peak of his powers, and I'm backing Joe Schmidt and his team to get him to that position. So Taniela Tupou, you are a Lion Tamer.
He was also a part of the second half comeback as well. I thought his effort areas and I think you can see he's trying. You know, like geez, he's putting the effort in. So I'd love him to get back to his peak of his powers. Good choice, Beef.
If we just angle that board slightly, there we go, so we can read it perfect. Very good. Hookers.
Hookers.
Do you mind if I go first?
Yeah, you go.
It's
Okay,
an
go.
obvious one, Billy Pollard.
Right.
So then
Friend
I've
of the
got
pod,
that
yeah.
out of the
Thanks for
way.
taking the Brumby.
Well, it's the obvious one. That way you blokes can make the hard decisions. Billy playing out of his skin.
There's a lot of hookers injured at the moment. Like even, Lockie Lonigan, who sits behind him and Billy Pollard kind of share the role. He went on the tour last year.
Well, there's a lot that could be in contention, right? You got Fessler, Asiata, Dolly,
Parecki.
Painga-Ramosa, Parecki.
I think Parecki's set piece on the weekend. And to show a bit of support to the Tars.
Dave Parecki.
Lock in Parecki, Dave Parecki. I'll put him in. But Nos, you're close, mate. I just couldn't go back-to-back Brumbies. These boys, they're on me.
And my boy Matty Fassler.
All right, Swoop's gone.
He's injured at the moment, is he?
He's injured. I think he hasn't played since maybe
Round 9.
round 9 or 10.
That's Yada's been good.
So without really knowing
Where he
the type of
sits.
injury or where he sits or what his return to play
We
date
can always
is, but
revisit this,
I
remember?
still think, exactly. I still think he's going to be there.
Okay, terrific. Thanks, Swoop. I'll pop that there. There you go. Congratulations to those 3, Taniela Tupou, Billy Pollard,
Parecki
Parecki,
and Fessler.
Gents, that is the show. What an epic show that it was. A big guest yet again for the KOKO Show. Where can you find us? At Kickoffs and Kick-Ons. That is on the website. That's all our socials, YouTube, etc. Gentlemen, have you got...
just Prof, just to finish on this note, there's been a couple of passings, in rugby the last couple of weeks. Josiah Rasuke over there in Cast, Fijian boy, who passed away. There's been some great footage in terms of, just some of the connection pieces after the game on the weekend, Cast versus Bordeaux. They all kind of came together with his parents there and got together. But also Cornel Hendricks as well, South African boy that passed away just through the week as well. So our thoughts are with everyone that is connected to them and the greater community as well. And it's just grab your mate, give him a hug, tell him you love him, tell him why you love him, and just get around each other.
Thank you, Drew. Very good. That concludes the show, gents. Another great one. Drew, give us one.
KOKO! Good. Could be back.
Oh, wow. That is the best video on YouTube. You know what you need to do now? You need to like and subscribe down there. Or if you want extra content, might be down there, you need to go up here or up here and get more of that gear. Thanks for supporting Kickoffs and Kick-Ons, and we will see you very soon.